The next two sections of the book related to kind of memories of both people and places of childhood. Unfortunately, Fred Basler can't be with us, but I'd like to introduce Harriet Proudfoot, who is here.
This poem is about when you encounter a memory that you didn't know you had. So, and it feels as if something really shifts in your body. So this is called Bone Vibrations Harvest. We children are included, are swept up in the harvest's wild sea. Men sweat and shout, pitch up the golden wheat. Our one desire to ride the piled wagons, dip in galleons. We hang beneath, black with the axle grease. Strictly forbidden to ride. We wonder, watch and will the huge horse, leg by leg, straining to start the treasure up the hill. Hedges snatch handfuls as it squeezes by. I buy a ticket for a carriage ride. The wheels have tyres this time, and the seat springs. I find myself in tears. I didn't know I knew the alternating pull, jolt of the hooves. The harvest done, on the last empty cart, we were allowed to bump on the loose grain. Home with this rhythm, this pace, exactly this.
And the final section of the book related loosely to language, to learning to talk, read, write, or to find the courage to express ourselves. So I'd like to introduce Lynn White, Jeremy Page, Joe Field, and David Hurd.
Robert's Blossom. Blossom, said the child, for the first time in his life, standing solid on small feet, dividing pleasure between two distinct syllables, making a sullen day sizzle. Blossom, again, reflectively, relishing rhythm, the releasing of lips, the plosive, the up-down waggle of a 4-year tongue, closing behind teeth and tapping them. Every time we see some, you must say, blossom, he ordered, savouring the stop of air, the hum and vibration, the drop of pitch in the latest addition to the inventory. Blossom, we said together, while I considered the heart-stopping precision of his mouth curving round vinegar, sobriquet, oubliette, and colonisation.
When my daughter was very young, she could mysteriously say the word cat long before she could say any other word. Seeing cats. She sees them everywhere. Her universe is 12 months old, is populated by an invisible colony of cats. They grin from where they hang upside down on the ceiling, glide elegantly past her cot, tread lightly on the virgin fabric of her dreams. They are her north, her south, her east and west. At 12 months old, the only word she knows is cat.
This is about my granddaughter, and I do realise that everybody's grandchild is a genius. It's not just me. It's called Mirror Moons. You've been playing on the sofa, hauling yourself up to laugh at your reflection on the wall behind, smacking it with small, sharp hands. You turn, radiant. I go bang bang on the mirror. Stunned, I see stars shooting, comet tails. Words have sparkled in isolation, a sky full of them to be sure. Christmas, helicopter, aqueduct, household objects, and the name of every animal under the sun. Somehow you've related the crude flatness of your picture books to the real world, and your memory is cosmic. But I go bang bang on the mirror. That's the first full sentence of yours I've heard. Happily, we bash hell out of it together before you turn again, distracted by the glooming window. Moon, you say, like Ted Hughes' Little Frida. Sometimes we've seen it there, but now I must explain. Those several satellites tonight come from this very room, bounced by magic beyond the darkness of the glass. Because you're a genius, you understand. Mirror, you say, and we wave at ourselves, arriving and departing among the moons.
Well, that was wonderful, and inevitably I've got a lot of thank yous to make. First of all, thank you to everybody who's come, particularly those people who've travelled some distance, and there are quite a few of you, and we are really grateful to you for making the effort to be here. Nikki and I would like to thank our families and friends for doing things like selling books outside, supporting us through the process of putting the book together, and also Jen Kahawati, Joe Field and Patricia Debney of wordaid.org for their support in the whole process. We'd like to thank all the children and young people, I should say, who contributed the fantastic drawings for the cover and inside sections, especially George Andrews, who did those two, and Nancy Wilson and her friends from Simon Langton Girls' School, who did the adolescent sections, and also to Gary Studley and Joe Field's daughter Jess Ramsden, who collected all the self-portraits from their pupils. And we had we've got about 100 drawings in the book, so we're really pleased to have those. And you can see some on a display outside as well. I'd like to thank for tonight Patricia Debney for organising the launch and her MA students for their help, the Master of King's College, the University Hospitality Unit, Sarah York, who's done a lot of our publicity, and Matt Wilson, who I believe should have been on holiday, but came back today especially to take photographs for us, so I'm very grateful. Tonight, of course, is only the beginning, and there are several other events planned. Maggie Harris is hosting an event in Broadstairs on the 3rd of December. Maggie Sawkins is hosting one in Southsea on the 19th of December. And we're hoping Sarah Solway will organise something in Tunbridge Wells, and Peggy Riley, who's here, with Jenny Mayer and Rachel Playforth, who are based in Edinburgh, hoping to do something up there. And you can pick up flyers for the Broadstairs and Southsea events in the foyer. And do contact Maggie Sawkins or Maggie Harris if you'd like to attend those events and read at them, particularly the people who we couldn't have reading tonight. Other contributors have helped us to publicise the book and the event. I'd like to thank Poets Anonymous in Croydon, who've done a lot to help. Jeremy Page from Frogmore Press, who's given us lots of publicity on his website. Others have found ways to sell books, and certainly I'd like to thank Margaret Beston, who's been canvassed all her friends and family, there she is, and has ordered 30 books for this evening. Abigail Morley, who persuaded the library of the school she works to stock our books. And then other contributors like Bob Lavallant have made donations in our name to children in need. So please do put money in the bucket, but also if you can think of ways in which you can help us to sell more books, please do so and get in touch. You can order off the website or by sending cheques or by emailing us. Finally, to the book itself. I mean, we were completely overwhelmed by the number of submissions, both from well-known poets and new writers. I'd like to thank everybody who contributed, and particularly also those people who passed on the call for submissions to their writing networks, especially Myra Snyder, who sent the called Far and Wide, and also Catherine Smith, who contacted virtually everybody within spitting distance of Brighton, I think, and got us lots of people. And finally, to all of the contributors who've donated your poems to make it such a rich and wonderful read. And I would like to tell you that before we even arrived this evening, we had sold enough books, actually had money in the bank account to cover our printing costs. So every penny from every book which is sold this evening goes directly to children in need, and every penny that you put in the bucket, we'd actually got enough orders from people who weren't able to come, who ordered and who we've sent the books out to cover all our costs. So you can know that any money that you part with this evening is direct for children in need. Many contributors, of course, live too far away to get here and have sent us good wishes for a successful evening. I'd like to just send a message from one of them, who's Andrew Motion, who sent his apologies and the following message. This anthology is full of poems that are their own reward, but it also confirms the role that poetry can play in doing good in the world. Buy it. And I invite you to follow his good advice. Thank you.